Well, this has now become, I think, my favorite part of the show. Hey, Jarret.
Hey, Glenn and Ben. I wanted to
Yeah.
combine both your names, like
My
a
name does
Jennifer
combine them both.
Lopez. Yeah, well, it's true actually. There you go. Or can I call you Glenn?
Oh, if you want.
Glenn sounds
Okay.
good. I'd
All
be
right,
happy with
Glenn.
that as our celebrity couple name.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I
I'm just
ship
waiting for the
Glenn.
breakup, the
Yeah.
reunion, the breakup again. What do they call the J Lo Ben Affleck one? What do they call though? What are they called? You know,
Benifer. There was
Bennifer,
Benifer for
that's
a
it.
while.
That's it. It's funny actually because I've taken to Jennifer Lopez. I didn't mind her early in her career, but then I just had no interest when the music came along and all those dud movies like Made in Manhattan and all that
Oi,
shit.
watch your tongue.
When she started
I didn't
referring to
like that
herself
one.
as Jenny from the block,
The
that's
block.
when
Admittedly, I did like the song though,
the song's all
but
right. But
then I've had a renaissance, and I'm digging all the films that she's done lately, the Marry Me and the
That was
Second
good.
Chance or whatever it was. I'm liking that, and and Ben Affleck, he's had a bit of a dark couple years for me because he's just been doing pretty average films aside from recently Air, which is a bit of a return to form for him for me.
actually, and I had managed to watch Air with you, and while we were on the plane, Shotgun Wedding. So
Incredible.
I had a good Benifer kind of reunion.
So
Man, you
air
just
has been
need to.
getting a lot of air on the show the last couple of weeks.
And it needs it. Actually, did you see on the news that a pair of Air Jordans that Jordan wore in like his, I don't know, I don't know the NBA that well, but let's just say it's the 2016 Premiership, whatever. Anyway, these
Playoff.
shoes, yeah, he sold these signed shoes and they sold for $3.5 million. And he gave them to some kid there because this kid traded him something. So this kid's now sold it via an auction house. $3.5 million for a signed pair of Air Jordans. I'm like, that's fantastic.
I don't understand
I got
how
a
it
mate
is.
that sold a pair of thongs on Craigslist for $50
But I
to
don't
a
know how it.
pervert at 11 p.m. at
I don't know.
Balaclava Station, but that's not 3.5 million.
I don't know how it is that I can't afford a.
Did you see on the news that a pair of Air Jordans that Jordan wore in like his, I don't know, I don't know the NBA that well, but let's just say it's the 2016 Premiership, whatever. Anyway, these
Playoff.
shoes, yeah, he sold these signed shoes and they sold for $3.5 million. And he gave them to some kid there because this kid traded him something. So this kid's now sold it via an auction house. $3.5 million for a signed pair of Air Jordans. I'm like, that's fantastic.
I don't understand
I got
how
a
it
mate
is.
that sold a pair of thongs on Craigslist for $50
But I
to
don't
a
know how it.
pervert at 11 p.m. at
I don't know.
Balaclava Station, but that's not 3.5 million.
I don't know how it is that I can't afford a Karen Allen love pillow from Japan, and yet some asshole can spend $3 million on a pair of shoes. Karen Allen love pillow from Japan, and yet some asshole can spend $3 million on a pair of shoes.
That's amazing. Did you say Karen Allen is in the
Yeah,
actress Karen Allen from Starman?
yeah, but it's
That's
young.
amazing.
It's not weird. It's young Karen Allen.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. Yeah, no. Let me know if they get a buy one, get one free sale. We'll go Harvey's. Save on shipping.
That's a
Same with
menage a trois.
You want one too, but you want in on this, Glenn?
Yeah, sure.
All
Who
right. Well,
doesn't?
even if they've
Who
got a
doesn't?
2 sale.
Who doesn't? You push the button and it takes a shot like in Indiana Jones.
Well, I want a
A
snuggie
real
with her
shot.
print on the outside so I can sleep inside her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that was the moment the show got cancelled.
All right, mate. What's coming out this week?
All right. Well, this week there's some exciting releases coming from Roadshow. They're from the Warner catalog, and Warner, of course, is celebrating their 100th anniversary as a studio. As such, they're pumping out some of the classics. Now, I did mention these, I think, a couple of months ago, maybe a month ago. I think we've only been on the air for about a month. But we've got the Maltese Falcon, we've got Rebel Without a Cause, and we've got Cool Hand Luke, all coming out on 4K Ultra HD. And the good part is they come with the Blu-ray as well. So that means you're going to get all the special features. Plus, if you're not 4K savvy yet, you can just grab it. And then when you are 4K savvy, when the format dies because you didn't get in on day one and supported the format, you'll be able to watch it when they're clearing the 4K players cheap. But yeah, those three are coming out from Roadshow. Nothing new in terms of extra content, just archival content. But regardless, really exciting to see some classic films come to 4K. And
Do we
particularly
get
these
the
films.
Do we get the shiny slipcase, or is that?
We don't, sir. No, no. You'll be grateful. You get an Amaray with 2 discs, and you'll have. And
You'll be happy.
You'll be happy with that. You'll pay the same price. Well, in fact, all of these obviously releasing this week. Now, I think JB's actually got a sale maybe till the end of April, buy 2 get 1 free. So you could probably get the 3 of them for the price of 2. So that might be some comfort since we can't get that Karen Allen pillow.
That's
3
their
for 2 at this point in time.
That's their slogan in the marketing meetings. They'll be happy.
That totally sounds like it. They'll just be grateful that they got it.
I'm going to hit that kid up who got the $3 million for the shoes.
Well, I can put you in contact with my friend Dave, who sold his thongs on market.
Thongs, yeah.
on Craigslist. Yeah.
I mean, that kid really doesn't need 2.
No.
You could give me $1 million and it wouldn't affect his life at all.
No, that's it. Well, let's find out where that kid lives, and we'll trade him 3 Blu-rays or 4Ks: the Maltese Falcon, Cool Hand Luke, and the other one, which I forgot. Rebel Without a Cause, the only one I'm really, really excited about.
I think I'm interested in the other 2.
Talking about Air, I shared a joke with you guys privately. Did you see Aaron Coggs, the comedian, proposed an Aussie version of Air where fucking Dunlop tried to headhunt Andrew Gaze?
Yes, that would be amazing. I can see it now too. It'll be just terrific. It could be like a Stan original, but then again, no, it'll probably be made for Channel 9. Which means it'll have like a third of the budget.
The best part about it is, though, you'll never see Andrew Gaze's face or that stupid fake grin that he always has on his.
And the movie will be called Dunnies.
Dunnies. I like, as long as they do have a scene in it with him being courted by Hungry Jacks as well, to do like some sort of sponsorship there. So no, I fully embrace that. We need more Australian sports people movies, and definitely more Dunlop volley movies, or Dunlop in general.
I just want Cliffy too.
Yes, totally. Cliffy returns. Cliffy's second run.
I'd like a late sequel to The Club.
Yeah, totally.
This time more racist, more sexist, and
more drug use. Because if there's anything about the AFL in this day and age, it's every time I'm turning on the news, one of them's doing coke. Whether they did coke last weekend, whether their wife was doing coke on a Kmart plate, or whether in fact they did coke 5 years ago on Snapchat, which I didn't even realize was still around, and the videos have finally surfaced. So yeah, I don't know. Those AFL players are getting paid an awful lot of money if they can afford cocaine.
I mean, who would have thought that, was it 10 years ago, whenever it was, when Fraser Gehrig got so pissed at a St Kilda nightclub that he pissed on the bar thinking he was at the urinal. And then, like 5 years later, who was it? He played for Carlton, and he got done for pissing at like a shop front after a night on the piss. That it'd get even better.
They're just leveling up.
Would get even better than that. Like
the movie's writing itself right now.
It's leveling up.
We'd reach that high watermark with the public urination, but apparently not.
And the beautiful thing is too, I don't know if you lads have heard this, but Victoria's abolished this, drunken disorderly or drunk in public sort of rule thing. So it means you could get these AFL players, get them pissed up, and as long as they're not pissing in public, they can pretty much get away with murder.
Yeah.
And that should be the story.
And that one's coming out next week on Blu-ray, gentlemen.
Fast tracked.
So, moving on to Umbrella Entertainment, they've got some really great titles this week. First up is The Tunnel, the 2011 Aussie found footage film. I'm a big fan of it. We celebrated its 10th anniversary last year at Monster Fest.
We had the director on the show.
Oh yeah, of course, yes, and it's just such a great. I still feel like it's fairly underrated. And this Blu-ray release compiles all the archival material that was available on the 2-disc DVD back in the day, the Blu-ray that they put out that they self-released, and now it's got the 2021 retrospective documentary on there as well that we premiered at Monster Fest last year. So it's a great package, and it's good to see that film finally get.
That's a good documentary.
Oh, it's a terrific documentary. Yeah, I loved it.
Do you know? Did they release the doco on Pirate Bay as well? Is that part of the strategy?
Well, that's a great aspect of the documentary, funnily enough, as well. And when we did the Q&A afterward, it was sort of like, it was just such in the infancy of doing something like that it didn't quite succeed. And obviously a big reason why, a lot of other companies didn't want to touch it, because they were kind of worried But the
They're all
aspect we
pissed
release
off.
that for free. Yeah, exactly. You know, we want to make some money. How do we make
Somebody
some money?
had to do that, just to test the waters.
Exactly.
See
It's
what
like
happened, yeah.
Radiohead did it with that record, in Rainbows or whatever it was, with the sliding scale. We're putting on the internet. You choose how much to pay. Well, I don't know. Later era Radiohead, I'll probably slide toward the 0 and I'll take the download and never listen to it. But don't put it on my iPod without asking me like you two did, because I'll have none of that.
Bono takes full responsibility.
Yeah, rightly
He literally
so.
does. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Rightly so. There should be a class action against him.
Apparently, the Apple executives are saying you really don't want to be doing that, and he's like, "No, we can do it. We're the biggest band in the world." Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
incredible. Umbrella have also got Weird Al coming out, the Al Yankovic story. I think it's just actually called Weird.
Weird, yeah.
And that's coming out on 4K Blu-ray and DVD, and that's a global first on 4K Ultra HD. It actually might be a global first across all the formats, but yeah, it's hard to say whether anyone else will be doing a 4K of it anytime soon. I've still yet to see it. I really want to check it out, so I'm looking forward to that one streeting. And then the last release I want to mention from Umbrella is that they're reissuing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. However, it's in this Stankovision, which has video prompts throughout the movie for you to break out your scratch and sniff card. And,
I was going to ask what's the mechanism there.
Yeah, well, I don't know what smells you've got. Obviously, you're going to have pizza because, the turtles love their pizza, but they live in a sewer with a rat. So I don't know how great the other smells are going to be. But I can't remember, is there any fart jokes in the original Teenage Mutant Turtles movie?
No.
No, I think so.
But I mean,
that's a missed opportunity.
I'm just hoping
they've gone back in and added some farts.
I'm just hoping that all the smells smell like Stinkor's feet from the Masters of the Universe.
Oh,
toy.
Yes.
Because I miss that. I miss
magnificent.
that smell.
I know. I've still actually no, I sold him about 2 years ago, but I had one. He was in pretty pristine condition, and he still had a bit of that smell about him. But it was almost like a love letter that your girlfriend wrote you when you're 14. If you're worried you smelt too much of it, the perfume smell would go.
Really confused child. I used to love the smell of G.I. Joe's head and strawberry shortcake. It was a real.
I can't wait for that. That's got to be on the TikTok. You doing that?
That is a TikTok right there. Totally.
No, that's terrific.
There'll be a lot of trouble if it's not, Glenn. There'll be a lot of trouble.
It'll be up there.
I'm surprised I turned out as well as I did, because when I was a kid, I loved the smell of gasoline. Anytime we'd go to the petrol station, I'd be like... So I'm glad I didn't end up huffing gas.
That's right.
Gas.
I thought Samson and Delilah was nostalgic.
Ooh, if you didn't get cancelled for that Karen Allen comment, then that's the one. Okay, so there's one more release from Umbrella this week, A Bittersweet Life, which I think is a Korean film. I've admittedly never seen this one. Madman put out the DVD of it many years ago under the Eastern Eye label, and it's one I've been meaning to check out for some time. So I'm glad that that's getting a Blu-ray release. And then the last two distributors I'll quickly mention is Madman's releasing The Whale on Blu-ray and DVD. Looking forward to finally checking that one out when I have the courage to watch it. I feel like...
That needs a Stinkovision version.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I can only go by the trailer, but having not watched Irreversible yet, but having rented it a million times and now owning it on Blu-ray in the cupboard of shame, I hope to add The Whale to that. And maybe I'll do it as a double header one day and then just top myself.
When you set up the Astor in your house. Like the little Astor theater.
And then I'll put it on social media so I can get people commenting going, well, is this a fucking double?
Yeah.
What's this? What is this a double? Fucking idiots. I liked it better when back in 2006 when everything was on film.
Yeah. Why didn't you do The Whale and Whale Rider?
Why didn't you do The Whale and Sperm Whale Rider? And folks, that's a callback to last week's episode. Okay, so one more release. I've got one more, and it's from Disney, and it's Empire of Light, which is the new Sam Mendes film, which I had not seen either. I've heard mixed things about it. It looks like one for Disney Plus that I'll probably put in the queue right after Ant-Man 3 and never watched.
It's a movie full of great performances, and just the story is confused and doesn't know what it wants to be.
Is it as depressing as Revolutionary Road? Because I love the depressive aspect of that movie. Watching them fight for the entire film, it was fucking hard.
Yeah, no, it's a hard one. You think you're going into this love letter of cinema, but it's not.
Oh, okay. So it's no Babylon then. There's no
I usually
elephants shitting.
Yeah. I usually find that movies that are love letters to cinema are boring as batshit, like the cinema that the people who make them love.
It's usually self-indulgent.
Like Rob Zombie's love letters to the genre, which is what, like, everyone lives in a trailer park. Seemingly, Sherry Moon Zombie can play anyone of any age. And I'll stop right there because I'm sure there's plenty of Rob Zombie fans out there. And admittedly, I do like The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. House of a Thousand Corpses celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, and they've given it a really nice release in the States. And locally, nothing yet. I think Umbrella might still have the license on it, so maybe we'll see something come of it. But sadly, it's just a Blu-ray overseas. They're not doing a 4K of it. And I dare say we'll never, ever see that version that Rob Zombie promised for, like, I don't know, like a decade. So
Rednecks can't afford 4K.
I feel like they're like Tarantino keeps promising to release the uncut, extended cut versions of all his films that never.
Oh yeah,
they never come out. They're all just rumors.
They're all liars. Like James Cameron with The Abyss and True Lies. He just wants to talk about that shit when he's got to promote something else. And then you got Peter Jackson. He's no better. Every time he's got some documentary coming out, he's talking about restoring the original elements of all his original films, and yet we've seen nothing.
Well, I wish they'd released
I take it all with a grain of salt.
I wish they'd released the special edition of films that went for 60 minutes and they had to hastily shoot more scenes just to boost the time, or the extended credit sequences.
That'd be amazing, because I want to see it restored back to its original 60-minute duration.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of nifty because, what do we do on this show when we haven't got much to talk about? We drag this segment out and you've chewed up half the time.
Perfect, gentlemen. Well, it's always a pleasure, so thank you for having me, and I look forward to talking to you again next week about anything other than home entertainment news.
If we're still on the air.
More about Karen Allen. Yeah, of course.
I'll have the order forms ready for next week.
I'll see you later, Glenn.